Have you ever been sitting in a room full of people, laughing, talking, surrounded by noise, and still felt completely alone, not sad, not angry, just empty, like you're watching your own life through a glass wall, like everyone around you is living, and you're just existing? If you've ever felt that, stop what you're doing. Because psychology says this feeling has a name. A real one. And almost every single human being on this planet has felt it at least once. You are not broken. You are not weird. You are not alone. But what is this feeling? And why does it hit the people who seem the strongest the hardest? Let's talk about it. Picture this. You wake up one morning. The sun is coming through the window. Your phone is buzzing with notifications. On paper, your life is fine. Maybe even good. But something feels off. You don't want to talk to anyone. You don't want to explain yourself. You scroll through your phone mindlessly, not really looking at anything. You eat, but you don't taste. You laugh at something, but it doesn't reach your eyes. And the worst part? You can't even explain why. Because nothing specific happened. No big tragedy. No major loss. Just this quiet, heavy, unexplainable feeling that has settled into your chest like fog. Psychologists call this emotional numbness, and it's more common than you think. In fact, a 2022 study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that nearly 67% of adults reported experiencing at least one prolonged episode of emotional disconnection in their lifetime, a period where they felt detached from themselves, their surroundings, and the people they love. 67%. That's not a minority. That's the majority of the human population. So why don't we talk about it more? Because emotional numbness doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't scream. It doesn't cry on the floor. It just sits there, quietly stealing your ability to feel joy, connection, and purpose, while everything on the outside looks completely normal. And that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Here's what's actually happening inside your brain when this feeling takes over. Your brain has a built-in protection system. When life becomes too overwhelming, too much stress, too much pain, too much pressure, your nervous system does something remarkable. It shuts down your emotional responses. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. This is called dissociation, and in small doses, it's completely normal. It's your brain saying, "This is too much right now. Let me protect you." Think of it like a circuit breaker. When there's too much electricity flowing through a wire, the breaker trips, not to break the system, but to save it. That emotional distance you feel? That's your circuit breaker tripping. But here's the problem. When stress becomes chronic, when the pressure never fully releases, when you're always performing, always pushing, always being strong for everyone else, that circuit breaker stays tripped. And over time, you stop feeling the bad things. But you also stop feeling the good things. The hug that should feel warm feels like nothing. The achievement you worked for feels hollow. The song that used to make you cry plays in the background while you feel absolutely nothing. Dr. Judith Herman, a leading trauma psychologist at Harvard, described this state as the emotional death that comes before the physical one, a dramatic phrase, but one that captures exactly how it feels to millions of people every day. And the most vulnerable people? It's not the ones going through obvious trauma. It's the high-functioning ones. The ones who never complain. The ones who always show up. The ones who everyone else relies on. The people who look the most together on the outside are often the most shattered on the inside. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been so busy taking care of everyone else that you forgot to take care of yourself? Have you ever swallowed your own pain because you didn't want to burden anyone? Have you ever smiled and said "I'm fine" so many times that you actually started to believe it right up until the moment you were alone at 2 a.m. and you couldn't remember the last time you genuinely felt happy? That's not strength. That's suppression. Psychology distinguishes between two types of emotional regulation: adaptive coping and maladaptive coping. Adaptive coping means you process your emotions, you feel them, you sit with them, you let them move through you. Maladaptive coping means you suppress them, you push them down, you ignore them, you tell yourself you'll deal with it later. And here's the brutal truth about suppression: later never comes. Instead, those emotions collect. They pile up. Layer after layer after layer. Until one day, your emotional system doesn't even try anymore. It stops sending signals. Because every time it did, you ignored them. Researchers at the University of California, Berkeley found that people who regularly suppress their emotions report higher levels of stress, lower levels of life satisfaction, and paradoxically, less ability to handle difficult emotions when they actually do arise. In other words, the more you run from your feelings, the harder they become to face. And this is why emotional numbness doesn't just happen to people who've had dramatic lives. It happens to the person who works 60 hours a week and calls it productivity. It happens to the mother who gives everything to her children and nothing to herself. It happens to the young man who was told his whole life that showing emotion is weakness. It happens to you. And to me. And to almost everyone we know. So what do you do when you feel like you've lost the ability to feel? First, and this is the most important thing I will say in this entire video, you stop trying to fix it by force. Emotional numbness is not a problem you can think your way out of. You cannot logic yourself back into feeling. You cannot just decide to feel better. Because it's not a mental problem. It's a nervous system problem. And the nervous system responds to safety, not pressure. So step 1 is radical, almost embarrassing in its simplicity. Slow down. Not slow down after you finish this project. Not slow down once things calm down. Slow down now. Today. This moment. Psychologists call this window of tolerance work, deliberately giving your nervous system small doses of rest, stillness, and safety until it remembers that the threat has passed. That it's okay to feel again. Step 2, name what you feel even when what you feel is nothing. Sit with yourself. Quietly. No phone. No music. No distraction. And ask yourself honestly, what am I actually feeling right now? Maybe the answer is numbness. Maybe it's exhaustion. Maybe it's grief you never let yourself grieve. Maybe it's anger you convinced yourself wasn't allowed. Whatever it is, name it. Research from UCLA showed that simply labeling an emotion, just finding the word for it, reduces activation in the amygdala, the brain's fear and stress center, by up to 50%. Words heal. Even when they're spoken only to yourself. Step 3, let yourself feel small things. Don't wait for the big emotional breakthrough. Don't wait until you're ready to cry it all out or have the big conversation. Start small. Drink your coffee slowly and actually taste it. Watch a sunset and let yourself notice it's beautiful. Listen to a song that used to mean something to you and just stay with whatever comes up. Emotional reconnection doesn't happen all at once. It happens in tiny, quiet moments that you choose to be present for. And step 4, perhaps the hardest one, tell someone the truth. Not the whole truth all at once. Not your darkest, deepest thing. Just a slightly more honest version than "I'm fine. I've been feeling really disconnected lately. I don't know what's wrong, but something feels off. I haven't felt like myself in a while." That small act of honesty, of letting one safe person see even a glimpse of your real state, begins to break the isolation that emotional numbness feeds on. Because numbness grows in silence. And it shrinks in connection. Here's what nobody tells you about this feeling. It's not a sign that something is permanently wrong with you. It's a sign that something is temporarily overloaded in you. It's not evidence that you don't deserve happiness. It's evidence that you've been carrying too much, for too long, without enough support. And the fact that you're watching this, the fact that some part of you recognized your own experience in these words, that's not weakness. That is awareness. And awareness is the first step back to yourself. You are not too far gone. You are not beyond feeling. You are not broken beyond repair. You are a human being whose nervous system did exactly what it was designed to do. It protected you when life felt like too much. Now it's time to gently, patiently, kindly tell it that you're safe. That it's okay to feel again. That you're ready to come back. Psychology says everyone feels this at least once. But it also says this: you can always find your way back. If this video helped you, share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Because somewhere out there, someone is sitting in a room full of people, feeling completely invisible, and all they need to know is that someone sees them. Be that person for someone today.